Okay, I think I'm recording. What's up, guys? It's Jenna here from Fill Your Books. And can you hear me?
You just got super glitchy.
What the heck? Am I back?
Yeah, now you're fine.
Okay, whatever. I'll just start over. Starting now. Okay, what's up, guys? It's Jenna from FillYourBooks.com, and I am here with one of our badass students, Emma. She has just been a rock star, and she's actually been with us for basically a full year now, and it's been really, really awesome to watch her journey, and I just really wanted her to be able to share her story with everyone. So why don't we start with the basics? Why don't you tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Obviously I'm Emma. You already said that part. I am from the Atlanta metro. I lived in the Atlanta suburbs most of my life. I'm not a city girl. I'm not a city stylist. I am a hairstylist. I am a mom to a 9-year-old who I started homeschooling halfway through this program, like a psychopath.
All the fun things.
And let's see what else. In my free time, I cosplay, I hike, I do all that stuff. I'm currently a college student as well. So a very full plate, like with a full class load, like not like, oh, I'm taking a full course load. Very, very full plate. And I am one of the independent suite stylists. Like I jumped ship for the independent life about a year and a half ago. So now I have all of the fun headache of juggling, running a business too.
What was that? I mean, that's a big decision in and of itself to go from, I'm assuming you were an employee, like commission-based before you went to independent. Yeah. What was that process like? Well, how did it feel?
It was terrifying because I'd worked at the same company for 7 years, so almost my entire career.
Oh, wow.
And it very much was going from being a big fish in a little pond to not even being a fish anymore. Like there was no pond left. I was a fish walking on water.
Yeah.
I was trying to be that fish growing legs is what it felt like.
That's a very representation, actually.
Yeah, it was wild. It was terrifying. And a big part of the reason I knew I needed to do it is because a decade into being in the industry and 7 years, one of the top producers in a company with 150-ish stylists, and I still had credit card debt building. I had no savings account to speak of. When occasionally I could get a little nest egg of like $2,000 to $3,000, and then a life event happens and I'd be back to zero. So like it felt like no matter how hard I was working, like there was no room to get ahead at a certain point. And that's between that and a few business disagreements as far as like the way that the world's moving, especially post 2020. There were some things we didn't see eye to eye on, and I no longer fit the culture. So it was time to move on.
I think a big thing to highlight there is that you were able to listen to your intuition. Like that's a scary decision to be like, yeah, I'm going to move on from this company that I've worked for 7 years and they helped build me and all of these things. But to be able to listen to your intuition and your gut and know that this big scary decision is less scary than what my life might look like if I stay in this position.
Yep. I told, because the owner was my direct manager at the time. Like our manager had moved on to a new position. So like the owner was my manager.
Yeah.
And he's very much a father figure. And it was weird because I was like, while quitting, like I had to explain to him, like, I feel like I'm breaking up with like a long-term partner. Like that is the emotional baggage that is happening with me saying I'm leaving. Like it was the same feeling as ending long-term relationships. Like it was so... There were tears, there was hugging, it was a mess.
But you know what? You made it out of the other side. Fast forward a bit. We're in the new studio. Tell me what that kind of looked like, and then kind of how you came upon Fill Your Books.
So it was great in that I felt a lot of emotional relief, and it was not so great financially speaking. The company I came from has much higher than industry average clientele retention. Like when a stylist leaves, there's a lot of company loyal
Sure.
clients,
Yeah.
which is great. It means they're
Yeah.
doing some things right, but going as someone leaving, like it hurt.
Yeah.
So I probably lost, I don't remember the exact number, but it was somewhere between 30 and 40% of my clientele. So I did not have, I went from $10,000 months to $5,000 months in the blink of an eye and still had bills to pay. And that was getting scary. And let's see, I jumped ship in November and was it, I don't remember if it was March or May that I came on with you guys, but
One of those M's.
yeah, it was an M spring month. And I was realizing like the numbers were not improving very rapidly. And while I had been in a nice cushy place where I could focus on all of the technical skills forever, I
Yeah.
never had to learn marketing and I kind of actively avoided it. I am super hardcore an introvert by nature. So social media stresses me out and it scares me, or at least it used to. Like I was very resistant to it just because it gave me the heebie-jeebies. It was like pulling my own teeth out and I never saw any success from it. So I would quit very quickly. But you guys have some very effective ads out there, or I guess I was just always in the market, like perfect target audience. Because I was like constantly getting fill your books ads. And there was a couple other programs sprinkled in there too, but you guys were one of them. And when I say I had literally been seeing them for years, and it was the one ad of you being in an airport and scrolling through hundreds of client requests. And I was like, that's not real.
Yeah.
That's not real. That's some like made up, they spammed their own account. Like,
Yeah.
that was my attitude. And so I had literally seen it for a good 4 years. Like, it was a long time of me seeing your ads and ignoring them and being like, seems scammy. But, I think desperation builds a certain degree of like willingness to gamble.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, I was like, okay, if it's been around this many years and it's still in my face, screw it. I'll see what they have to offer. And like, I ended up on the consultation call and decided to do it. And I got married like 3 weeks before opening my salon suite.
Okay.
So brand new marriage, brand new salon suite. And then I made the not small investment with you guys. And I literally like came home and just told my husband, hey, I spent a lot of money on a marketing course today and it's more money than you want to know about. And just, okay, I did get in trouble for it later when he found out what the dollar amount was, but I was just like, I spent a lot of money. You don't want to know what the amount is. And we're not going to talk about that. My saving grace is 100% that it paid for itself in the first 90 days. Like, it paid for itself. So like, had it not, I would have been in trouble in my marriage too, not just my business.
I was gonna say, see, now it's all the past because it's all good. We made it work, and that's what we're here. That is what we do best. We break that investment back. So you were scared, nervous, jumped in. What were those first kind of few weeks, that first month, like both emotionally and I guess result wise?
Overwhelming for sure. Like I said, I have a lot of spinning plates at the same time. So taking on learning it was also a little rough. And I definitely had to talk myself off the cliff of like other people's progress, because there was a couple of people that started right at the same time as me that were just like blowing through everything and doing like all the stuff so fast. And I was like, I watched one video. Like, yeah. So that was a lot, and to get through it. And I just had to remind myself, like, I know I'm going to be the slow and steady person because I have 8 million plates. Like, I can't just dedicate 10 hours a week to this. I don't have 10 hours to give. I don't. Just, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, as I started to get through it and I started to implement it and I started to wrap my head around how you guys make social media a useful thing and take all the fear out of it, it started to get easier and easier and more comfortable, less scary, less stressful. The wins came at their own slow and steady pace. Yeah, that first month was it was a lot of hurry up and wait for me because I did have to like fit it into these tiny nooks and crannies in my schedule.
Yeah.
So it was
I was just gonna say that's important though, because there's so many people out there, whether it's like you have kids or you're in school, which you just had all of the things going on all at once. But there are some people who believe like, I have all of these things going on in my personal life. How could I possibly add in this new thing? And that's something that I'm glad you brought it up, because it's something that I'm really, really passionate about, is to be able to create this system that you can then just that it can become a part of your life. And it doesn't have to be something that's this additional stressful add-on. When you learn something new, of course, is it going to feel wonky? Is it going to feel weird trying to fit this puzzle piece in? But eventually you smooth out the corners of that puzzle piece and it does eventually, it clicks, for lack of a better term. And I'm just glad that you brought that up, because it's not supposed to feel great at first, no matter what position you're in. Growth is always a bit uncomfortable, but it's our kind of goal on our end with Fill Your Books to make sure that we make it work for you and your lifestyle, and it's not something that's this outside stressor.
I mean, I will say the fact that it's like it can be a go at your own pace situation, the way you guys have it set up, was a lifesaver, because it was very much like there was times I could watch like half a video. I couldn't even get the whole thing done. I had 20 minutes and that's all it was. And so I did 20 minutes and then back to whatever else I was doing.
Yeah. So, 20 minutes a day, you were consistent, and you, even though you went at your own pace, you followed what we recommended, right? And that's kind of all we ask of students is, if you come on, just please listen to the recommendations that we make, trust us and trust the process. And that's what you did. So now let's get into the fun stuff of, what did trusting the process bring Emma?
Everything. Can I say that? That's so obviously it's new knowledge, it's new skills, right? Like stuff that I've been terrified of, I can now do like really comfortably, particularly like social media and engaging with people online, and finding new clients. That was big and scary. And now it's not at all. Like if I have a slow week, I'm just like, oh, I have a slow week coming up. Let me go beep, boop, boop. And it's like waving a magic wand.
Yeah.
For lack of better words.
Your words, not mine.
Yeah, it's your scammy airplane situation, except I'm not on that scale. It's smaller numbers, but still, there was one week I had a slow couple of days and I turned around and booked, I think it was like $1,500 off of one Facebook post.
That's awesome.
That was 30 minutes of engaging with people, and I had a lot to show for it. If you want to talk numbers, like I said, I'm a nerd and I wrote them all down and I updated them. Okay. So, which one do I want to start with? Average ticket. I have, like I said, a high producer, historically higher average ticket than industry standard where I was at. When I came on to Fill Your Books and I first wrote down all my numbers, I was at $123 a ticket, which ain't bad. Because I do still have a ton of just haircut clients. That's still a very big thing for me. And now it's up 165. It's at 165.
Keep going.
That number is a 34% increase on just per person, per human being in my chair. It's 34% easier for me to pay my bills.
Yeah. 34% increase on profit. That's huge. That is huge over time.
I went and pulled 2022's to January 1st to today.
Yeah.
And this year's.
So it's now
January
March
1st.
March 17th.
Yes. year over year, not quite the full first quarter of the year,
Yeah.
right? My sales reps 89%. Yeah, 89%. The actual
Crazy.
dollar amount is $12,000 and change.
Like
So
plus,
yeah, like more, 12,000 more dollars over last year, $4,000 a month more over last year.
sheesh, that's crazy.
And I'm still doing my 3 days or less. I take one Saturday off every month, so it's 2 3/4 days a week, right?
That's
Like
huge. 2 3/4 days a week, everybody watching this. That's barely part-time. Okay.
Yeah, I average, I think like 27, 28 hours in the salon.
You're speaking my language, Emma. I love it.
Yeah, so actually that's a super fun number too, because this year I'm at 26, just over $26,000 in the first quarter of dollars in total. Last year I was at just shy of 14. So it's almost double.
Yeah.
It's so close to double.
Well, here's the thing. I know you like numbers, so you're like, I wish that would be double, but you said about almost 26.
Just over 26. I'm at just over 26.
Do you know what that means? You are on track for
clearing $100,000 a year. If I just like don't grow anymore, if I just stay consistent, like it's cleared.
One of these bad boys is going to be in the mail coming very soon. And if you can't see it, it's a 6-figure club award. That is in your future, my friend.
Okay. No, but hang on. So I'm at like what, 28 hours a week in the salon, and I'm this close to 28,000 per quarter. Like, yeah, I love that kind of math where it's like for every hour I'm in the salon, that's $1,000 a quarter.
Hell yeah.
Like for every hour I have scheduled, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
And like, you know, spread out across. But like when I put this, so if I added in like 2 or 3 extra hours, I could clear 30 grand.
And that
if I'm just like, hey, if I want to work 2 hours extra every week, then I'm clearing 30 grand. Like that's
wild. And that is where we really like to focus. Like you're really great at numbers from the start, so I didn't have to convince you on any of that. But a lot of the students, like we're working on things like numbers. And that's what I like to call matrixing your life and your business, is when you can say, I know for a fact from knowing my numbers that if I work an hour more this week, I could make this much money. You start to play with those kinds of things. And I think that that's where a lot of our just industry as a whole, the independent side of it, let's say, is lacking, is truly understanding.
It's not the independent side. It's everywhere. I will tell you, as somebody who spent most of my career in commission salons, both like personally and like when I would go training, like, you know, nobody wants to talk numbers. Hairstylists are allergic to numbers, like innately, I swear.
No, it's true. And it's we're creative people by nature. So therefore it does not come natural. But it is once you get past that fear and start to dive into it, it is not as scary as you think it is. I'll say that. It really is.
I will say the goal for this year is obviously I want to clear that 100K mark, because I've been this close for like 4 years.
Yeah.
I have been floating at that like 90 to 95, and this year like I should be like $120 by the end of the year. And
that'll be nice to clear. Ooh, that'll be nice to clear.
It'd be real nice to clear. Then the fun thing is like, can I keep that and drop down to 2 days a week is next year's goal. I've already like
planning ahead. That's what
that's the goal.
And that's healthy growth right there. That's what I love seeing, is that sustainable. You can be consistent with that. It's not about doubling your income every single year. Like the goal is like, no, I'm just going to work a little bit less and I'm going to keep this 6-figure amount. And it's like, whatever your goal is, you can accomplish it with I just like consistency. It's like slow and steady wins the race. We don't want this we want this. And that's
Yep.
that's the path that you're on, which is really exciting. But with all of that being said, you have your goals set, you had all this, you had great success with your books. What is one thing that you would say to somebody if they are on our website, they're looking at our videos, they're seeing our ads, and they don't know if I'm a robot or not, whatever it is, what would you say to them?
It's not a cult, I promise. It's not a cult. The weird, crazy numbers are real. Like, I can't tell you how many times, like, as somebody who's inside the group, I am seeing the people post the things in real time, like, oh gosh, I'm struggling with XYZ. And you guys tap in and help them. And then 2 weeks later, it's, hey guys, I did a $3,000 day. Woo! Like, real time. It's not made up. You guys don't just pull them out of like Canva and like
I was just gonna say, I'm
copy
not
paste
making it on Canva, I promise. I don't have
You're
enough time.
literally like, I've seen behind the closed doors, and they're literal screenshots of real people. Like, it's real. It's actually real. And I know it sounds too good to be true, especially if you're in a place where you're struggling. But like, as somebody who, this was like hardcore a Hail Mary, like this was my sink or swim, because I did not have the money to put into it. I really did not. And I said, well, I'm gonna figure it out. And I did. And you guys did. Because without you, I wouldn't have been able to pay for it. If the system didn't work, I was screwed. It was a gamble. This was a gamble for me, and I don't gamble, so that's saying a lot.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, that's what I would say. It's not a cult. It's actually like real-time screenshots. I swear, I promise. And you guys really, like, no matter how awkward or weird you're of a place you're starting from, like, the system works and it can apply to you.
No, I love that. It's very true. And again, that's another thing that we're really passionate about, is meeting you where you're at. I don't care if you just open your own suite, you're a commissioned stylist, you are an owner with a team. Everything that we teach can be plug and play into your business, and we don't judge. And I don't care where you come from, who you are, what you do behind the chair. Like, this is just about the fundamentals and the frameworks of, like you said, knowing how to turn a faucet on to get new clients when you need to, and to be able to turn that faucet off when you're too busy, and to be able to matrix, like I said, your life, and to have your job bring your personal life joy. You're able to take time off to be with your son, you're able to homeschool your son, you're able to do all of these things and to make adjustments if need be. And what more could you ask for?
Not a lot. I would, so I think the big thing for me is I've been sort of dipping my toes into a lot of different parts of the industry for a long time, and it's been chronically exhausting because everyone knows in this business, like, education isn't what pays. Like, they will literally tell you when they hire you to be a trainer, like, this is not going to pay your bills. Don't quit behind the chair, because you will never make the same money doing education. Not until you're in like the top 5% educators. Like, you really, like, they tell you that flat out. They don't sugarcoat it. They don't try and soften the blow. And so working 30 hours behind the chair and then just adding extra stuff on top is so exhausting. And I mean, having the ability to like fill all those holes in my book and have a little bit more control over like my price point, like, just those two factors alone leaves me so much more energy for dabbling in other things that I'm passionate about. Like, I can take time to teach a class, to write a book, to take a weekend and go camping, whatever it is. It frees that up without me being terrified I'm not going to pay my light bill.
Yeah.
Like,
which, shameless plug, title of the book, please.
Cut the Trauma, a bite-sized guide to hacking the soft skills. It's great. It's little. It's meant for hairstylist attention spans.
Highly recommend. Go get it. It just came in the mail. It's upstairs. But if
hang on.
Yes,
I have my box right next to me.
There we go.
I'm in the right room for it.
There we go.
But yeah, a client actually saw it and read it in the, like, while she had her color processing recently.
Yeah.
And her review, my color got weird.
That's all right.
whatever. That's fine.
There we go.
Her review was that, wow, that really got straight to the point. And I was like, what, like, is that a good or a bad thing? She's like, so normally you go to a class, right? You spend eternity
Yeah.
and you get these nuggets and you just put all the nuggets in one spot. And I was like, I'll take it. All the nuggets in one spot.
Awesome.
No fluff. There is no
Yes.
fluff. It is straight to the point.
So if you're watching this, you need to go buy Emma's book and you need to book a call with one of our success coaches over at Failure Books so we can figure out what is the best strategy for you. Are you a good fit to work with us? And we can go from there. We want to help you. So please fill out an application. We would love to talk to you. Emma would love to see you inside of the group. And if you have any questions, please reach out. My Instagram handle is at Jenna Puzio Hair. Feel free to reach out to me. Emma, you're at Verdandy Salon, correct?
Yes.
With a V as in Victor, at Verdandy Salon. And we look forward to hearing from you guys. I'll see you in the next video.